Good evening and welcome to Salem Hills High School for this Region 8 football game. Maple Mountain on the road this week, taking on the Salem Hills Skyhawks. The Skyhawks currently the second place team in Region 8, and with a win tonight can clinch that playoff spot. A loss though tonight to Maple Mountain couldn't make things interesting. Tanner Dayton puts a foot into it. We are underway and ready to go, and that kick's going to go once again back into the end zone. I'm Ryan Pickens alongside my partner Chris Hurst. And Chris, it was a week ago we were at Provo, or not even a week, it was 4 or 5 days ago we were at Provo, and a big win for Maple Mountain, but now a different kind of cat in Salem Hills.
Yeah, Salem Hills comes in on the heels of a 4-game winning streak. Their only loss this season was against Timpview, and they're coming in with a strong 7-1 record, so it's definitely going to be a challenging game for Maple Mountain tonight.
Salem Hills is led by their quarterback, Porter Gustin, who right now is in the pistol formation with one single back. Gustin takes the snap and pitches it on first down out across the 20. Flag comes in as the runner gets out to the 25.
Flag on the play. Holding against
that's going to be holding against Salem Hills.
Yeah, Gustin comes in. He's being recruited by multiple schools, including Ohio State, Arkansas, some of the bigger conferences as well, but he comes in with pretty good stats as well. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards and has 22 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions on the season, and he's also the star of this Salem Hills defense.
First down and 20.
So Salem Hills will be in an early 1st and 20 from their own 10-yard line, 11:42 to go first quarter. Gustin from shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Gonna take the snap, drops back to throw with plenty of time. Now being pressured a little bit, he is gonna go down. He's gonna go down at around the 5-yard line. In on the sack for Maple Mountain. Looked like it was.
These numbers are hard to read up here.
Loss of 6.
I want to say that was Jarrett Boyer, number 53.
Yeah, great job by Maple Mountain's secondary to give the defensive line plenty of time to get in there and finally bring Gustin down, and that'll bring up a 2nd and long situation here. They've got 2nd forever to go with the sack and the penalty.
So Porter Gustin now about a yard or 2 deep in his own end zone from shotgun. Once again, 4 wide receivers on the 2nd and 26. Gustin to throw with plenty of time. Again, he's sitting back there in the end zone. He's going to take a shot deep. He's got a couple men out there, and that pass is batted up and nearly intercepted, a diving attempt, but it will go incomplete, and it will put it 3rd and 26 coming up here for Salem Hills.
Yeah, great job by Cole Casper back there in his strong safety position, getting back and batting that one away. Maple Mountain comes in on the heels of a 2-game winning streak here as they beat Wasatch and Provo. That brings them to a 2-3 record in region, or 2-2, pardon me.
And you talk about how early when you're on the road playing a team that's high ranked with a lot of talent, an early stop like this, Chris, could really set the tone for the game for Maple Mountain.
And to give them the confidence they need to compete with Salem.
Low snap, Gustin picks it up, again looking deep, now being pressured. He's gonna get out across the 5 and brought down at around the 8 or 9 yard line. Getting in there again on the tackle was number 43 for Maple Mountain, and that's Garrett Blanthorn in on the stop.
Yeah, great coverage that time on all 3 downs. Maple Mountain got the benefit with that holding penalty, but the secondary held up that time, and they'll be challenged by Gustin tonight, and they've so far been up to the challenge.
So 4th and 22, and Salem Hills will fall back into the punting formation. Cannon Miner standing back at his own 48-yard line. A good snap. The punt is away. Miner's going to come up and call fair catch around the 47. Ball comes free, and I think Maple Mountain was able to get back on it. But a near disastrous play early on for the Golden Eagles, but they will retain the ball and get great field position led by their senior quarterback, Jaron Hall.
Jaron Hall comes in. He's thrown 20 touchdown passes this season. He has 1,794 yards. He's the do-it-all dual threat for Maple Mountain, and he's vastly improved this season compared to last at the quarterback position, and they still have him for another year here at Maple Mountain.
As the junior quarterback will spread out the Maple Mountain offense on first down, ball sits on the Golden Eagles' 49-yard line. Hall sends Cole Casper in motion across the field, takes the snap and rolls out to his left. Gonna throw over the middle, he's got it intercepted. It's intercepted by Salem Hills.
Picked off.
And the Skyhawks are gonna, ball comes free at the end and Maple Mountain recovers. The question's gonna be as if he was down or
Moved
not.
down on the play.
Looks like the refs are still discussing this. And looks like they're gonna give the ball to Salem.
So an early opportunity for Maple Mountain. Looks like it's gonna come to an end on the fumble, and it will be Skyhawk football on the Salem Hills 45-yard line.
It's been a little shaky start here for Maple Mountain special teams and offense as they've fumbled on the punt return and now that interception.
So Salem Hills' second possession of the game, 9:42 to go. And Guston's gonna throw a screen pass, and that's gonna be ruled an incomplete pass, as the pass looks like did go in the
Pass
forward
is
motion.
incomplete.
Yeah, that's just a case where the wide receiver decides he wants to run before the ball's in his hands, and nothing good ever happens with that most of the time.
Ball on the 45-yard line.
9:39 to go, first quarter here at Salem Hills High School on this Wednesday night for high school football throughout Region 8. A full slate of action going on throughout the region as Salem Hills will spread the field on 2nd down and 10. 4 wide receivers. Guston again from shotgun takes the snap. He'll throw. Steps up again. Good protection. The pass over the middle, and that's going to be complete.
Looks like it might be possibly intercepted by number 46. And it is.
And it is. Jordan Larson got in there and made the diving interception.
Pass is intercepted.
Yeah, great job by Larson there in his middle linebacker position, dropping back into coverage and watching the quarterback's eyes, and he comes up with the INT that time.
And that's not going to happen with both quarterbacks, really. Jaron Hall and Porter Guston. Neither of them have really thrown a lot of interceptions on the year. So now Maple Mountain a chance with good field position to take advantage of the turnover.
Yeah, they're starting right at the 50, and your success rate of scoring on that side of the 50 is a lot higher when you start with the ball.
Hall set from shotgun, gets the snap, throws over the middle. That's complete. That's out to Connor Ellis, and Ellis is going to get about 11 yards, maybe even 12, out to around the 38, and that's going to be a first down for Maple Mountain.
Yeah, we'll see if Hall can settle down after that early interception and lead him down the field here. That is the first down of the game as well.
9:14 to go, first quarter. Ball sits on the Salem Hills 39-yard line. Hall set from shotgun, gonna throw, steps up in the pocket, now being pressured. He's gonna be brought down pretty close to the line of scrimmage. It does look like he'll lose a yard, maybe 2.
That looked like number 11 there, Porter Guston, the linebacker / quarterback that got him that time.
Guston's a guy we're gonna call his name a lot tonight as he starts at quarterback and also at linebacker for Salem Hills.
Yeah, you don't get recruited by that many schools because you're going to be noticed at this level.
2nd down and 11. Maple Mountain needs the 30-yard line for a first down. Jaron Hall from shotgun, single back. Hall to throw. Steps up, throws, got a man over towards the sideline, but it looks like it went incomplete. It looks like he was trying to get Jake Maffey, number 7.
Yeah, Hall threw it the only spot he could that time, and there was pretty good coverage by Salem.
For Jake Maffey, number 7.
It's, we'll bring up 3rd down here.
11 yards to go.
So now a 3rd and long for Maple Mountain, and we've seen the Golden Eagles throughout the year have good success in these 3rd and longs with being able to throw it. We'll see here exactly how Maple Mountain plays this, but you would think they've been able to find some intermediate routes. Maybe another one of those slants over the middle to Connor Ellis. Guess we'll see what's coming.
Yeah, Hall has plenty of weapons to work with at wide receiver, that's for sure.
Casper in motion. Hall takes the snap on the keeper. He's going to be brought down at around the 37-yard line, so he does pick up about 4. And now decision time for Maple Mountain is it's going to be 4th and about 6, maybe 7 or so.
Well, I think when you're going with the quarterback draw on 3rd and 11, you're definitely setting yourself up for 4-down territory, and they definitely will go for it here on 4th down.
8 minutes to go, first quarter. A 4th down play coming. Maple Mountain needs a 30 to keep this drive alive. Golden Eagles have played a lot of very competitive teams close this year, including 4A Woods Cross, who's having a great year up in the Salt Lake area. Hall takes the snap, gonna throw. With time, looking down the sidelines for Maffey. Got a man that's gonna be And there's a flag that comes in late, and I would imagine when this came in, probably pass interference against Salem Hills.
Yeah, it looks definitely like it was pass interference. They were bumping the whole way down, and Ellis will get the, or pardon me, Dixon will get the benefit of that call.
Pass interference is the call.
So that'll give Maple Mountain a first down.
Jake Dixon, the intended wide receiver, and he had a step there on the Salem Hills corner as they went down the field. And so Maple Mountain gets a first down and back to a 1st and 10. You talk about how big early, especially in a big game like this, getting on that scoreboard is going to be for either team, really.
Yeah, when you're the underdog, if you can score first, that'll definitely give you some confidence that you can stay with the team.
Shotgun set, they're going to give it to, looks like that was, I want to say Cole Casper, and it was on the carry. Casper gets to the 24, so it looks like a loss of 2 on the play.
That play was blown up from the beginning by Salem's defensive line as they were able to get plenty of penetration in Maple Mountain's
Loss of 3.
Didn't do a very good job that time
After
for
the
Cole Casper.
24-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down.
So 2nd and 13 for Maple Mountain. Ball on the 24. And they'll come out here with 3 wide receivers. All set. Throws the screen out to Casper at the 20 to the 15. He's down to the 5 and knocked out of bounds at around, I want to say about the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. That's 1st and goal, Maple Mountain.
Yeah, great job by Jaron Hall for the screen pass, and Casper did the rest. Now, when Maple Mountain got down inside the 10, 15-yard line against Provo last week, they lined up in the I formation with Larson. We'll see if they look to do that again this week.
As they come out of the huddle, it does look like they're going to go from the shotgun with Jaron Hall. Looks like Connor Ellis is in the backfield. Jake Moffey to the top of your screen. Hall the throw, going to roll out to the right. Flag comes into play. They're going to go to the end zone, back of the end zone, and that's incomplete.
Flag on the play.
And we'll see now what the flag is, but from where it came in, likely a hold against Maple Mountain.
Anytime the umpire throws it at that time, it's most likely holding. So that'll move him back 10. That's a huge mistake by the line.
It's against Maple Mountain.
So that will move the ball back 10 yards.
Holding. There we go.
And it's going to be holding against the Golden Eagles. So now that moves the ball back to the 23-yard line. And now you're back in 1st down and 22 to go.
That didn't look like a hold if they moved him back 15 yards.
Back to throw. They're going to throw the screen again. Casper at the 24 makes a couple of men miss, fights his way down to around the 21-yard line, and that's going to be a gain of about 2 or 3 coming up here for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, that play worked well, but Salem adjusted that time and was able to stop it.
Trevor Gosser, number 82. No gain on the play.
6:22 to go, first quarter.
Goal from the 22-yard line.
Maple Mountain driving. They have started their 2nd possession from good field position, trying to get on the board first. Hall takes the snap, going to throw. Runs away from some pressure, still being chased. He's going to throw at the last second, and just it looks like throws it away, and will now save that play to become 3rd down.
Pass is incomplete.
Yeah, they haven't taken a shot yet to the end zone on this drive. I wonder if this is the time to do it. They have a pretty good kicker in Tanner Dayton who could hit it at this range, but the wind is slightly gusty tonight.
I wasn't down on the field, but I was at field level for about an hour before kickoff, and it was very gusty and windy, and you could tell on the kicks that it was pretty good when that gust didn't pick up. Once that gust picked up, though, no telling where the ball was going to end up. Hall from shotgun, 5 wide receivers. Takes the snap, Hall the throw, now being pressured. Now he's going to throw at the last second and incompletes the pass. And it looked like it was intended for Jake Dixon, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, that penalty really stalled this drive for Maple Mountain. They had the ball at the 6-yard line, and they were unable to do anything. Unable to punch it in, so we'll see if they can't get a field goal and be the first team on the board tonight.
Tanner Dayton coming out to attempt the field goal, which will be a 39-yard attempt from the left hash.
Yeah, he struggled with these kicks clear out on the hash so far.
Tanner Dayton.
Snap is good, and the kick is on its way, and
Flag on the play.
and there's a flag on the play. And I'm not sure here whether it was a hold or maybe it was offside.
It was good or not good.
Looked like some movement on the defensive line.
Offsides on the Skyhawks.
So that'll give the kick 5 yards closer. I couldn't tell if the kick was good or not, but it was close if it wasn't. It had the distance, that's for sure.
And so now that does move it up to be a mid-30-yard field goal try here. Tanner Dayton had plenty of leg on the first one. The question's going to be, can he get it straight and accurate?
Yeah, good point.
Dayton set, ready to go.
33-yard
And here's the
field
snap. The hold is down. The kick is up and blocked. The kick is blocked by the Skyhawks of Salem Hills. And it's going to be first down Salem Hills as they recover. And try to think here if that's
Number 51,
one guy is
Jim
down,
Fleming.
and that looks like it was Jason Blanthorne, number 6, was down. He's now up on the play.
Yeah, he got hit. He was the holder that time, and after the block, he went up to make the tackle, and one of the Salem Hills guys came in and blew him up. But great job by Salem getting through the line there and blocking that kick.
28-yard line, and that's another
So
Skyhawk.
5:51 to go in the first quarter. Salem Hills will take over at the 28-yard line with their senior quarterback, Porter Gustin. And the Skyhawks have had an interception and a punt on their first couple of drives of the night. Gustin set from shotgun, and he's going to hand it off on first down. A sweep play, and again, getting there. Good job by the Maple Mountain defense of getting there,
Isaac Parrish on
as
the
there's
carry.
Isaac Parrish on the carry.
Yeah, Maple Mountain's defense has stepped it up the last couple of weeks as they were giving up huge points early on, but it looks like they'd settled down, and it wasn't just because they were playing Provo and Wasatch.
And we talked about it a little bit on Friday against Provo. But as the week went on, I started thinking about it. Maple Mountain's in a great position because they really control their own destiny as to where they finish. They're not really having to sit back at this point and go, well, I hope this team loses. I mean, they win a couple of games, they could finish in that number 2 spot. Gustin throws the screen pass out to Parrish, who picks it up immediately. And it looks like it was going to be an incomplete
Pass is ruled incomplete.
pass.
It's an ruled an incomplete pass, but it
intended for Billy
looked from
Wolfram.
up here that it went lateral or
We got
backwards.
third down, 8 yards to
So
go.
they must have heard a whistle down there, and that's why everybody slowed down.
So 3rd down and 8 for Salem Hills. They need the 38-yard line to keep this drive going, or they could be forced to punt for the second time tonight.
And this is Salem Hills' 3rd drive of the game. They have yet to pick up a first down and have 1 turnover.
Gustin set from shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Parrish once again, the lone back, set to throw with time. He's going to now be pressured from the backside, and the throw late is going to be incomplete as it was thrown out there. A good attempt to
Pass
make the
is
play.
incomplete.
That was Jared Blathorne providing the pressure that time for Maple Mountain. Gustin had nothing
Helping up 4th
downfield.
down, 8 yards to go for the Skyhawks.
So Blathorne again gets some good pressure, 4th down, and Salem Hills will have to punt for the second time tonight. So early opportunities coming here for the Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain. Cannon Minor will go back deep as he's standing at about his own 34-yard line.
Yeah, punt returns have been an adventure for Maple Mountain this year, that's for sure.
The punt is away. It's a line drive kick, bounces around the 35 and will roll to the 20, and it's going to die at about the 16, 17-yard line. So for the first time tonight, the Golden Eagles are going to start with the possession deeper in their territory,
54-yard punt.
and an opportunity here to move the ball.
Yeah, they need to pick up a couple of first downs just to continue to win the field position battle here, if nothing else. But that was a great job by Jesse Rowley punting that time to change the field position there for Salem and give their defense a little breathing room here.
4:49 to go, first quarter. No score in this one. Salem Hills in the powder blue, Maple Mountain in the white tops and the maroon pants and maroon helmets. Jaron Hall set from shotgun with 4 wide receivers. He's going to throw the screen pass out to Cole Casper in the flat. Casper gets close to the first down marker. He's escorted out of bounds, but there's a flag that comes in. He's going to pick up, I think, at least 8 or 9 on that one.
Yeah, Unfortunately, that play is going to be negated by, looks like another hold for Maple Mountain, and that'll put them first and
Waiting for a call.
probably half a distance to goal from that distance.
And it's one of those things that, I mean, any game, football is one of those games where,
Holding.
Chris, and we've talked about throughout the year that penalties, turnovers, those are things that are can really add up quickly.
Yeah, they're drive killers is what they are. And they change the momentum of football games, that's for sure.
So 1st and 19 from Maple Mountain's own 10-yard line. 5 wide receivers. Hall back there by himself. He'll throw. That's complete over the middle. Looks like to Connor Ellis out to about the 14-yard line.
Yeah, Maple Mountain's trying to settle for some short passes here. It looks like Salem's dropping deep. Dropping at least 3 guys deep, playing maybe a cover 3. So let's see if Maple Mountain can get something going here underneath.
Hayden Albrecht in on the stop there for the Skyhawks. 2nd and 14. Hall set from shotgun, and he's going to throw again. Throws that one over the middle, and that one is caught. It's only going to be for maybe a couple of yards. Well, looks like about 4, maybe 5. Looks like they're around the 21-yard line. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 9. So really, when you look at it from the holding penalty, you pick up a couple of plays to get the penalty yardage back. And really, you're in a pretty manageable 3rd down from being in that 1st and 19.
Yeah, they definitely have shortened the distance here for picking up the 1st down. They have plenty of options here at wide receiver. It's possibly a post route might work here.
All set from shotgun. He's going to roll out. He's going to look over the middle. Got a man wide open. That's Cannon Minor at the foot race. 40 to the 30, 20. He is gone. Touchdown, Maple Mountain. It's Jaron Hall to Cannon Minor. And 79 yards later, and it's a Maple Mountain touchdown.
Yeah, that was a great job by Minor, finding a hole in that zone, catching the ball, and outrunning everybody. There obviously was a missed assignment there by Salem, as the middle of the field should not be that wide open, but Mapleton will capitalize with a 6-0 lead here.
And a big play, one of those early momentum plays. Your defense makes a couple of good stops, and then your offense able to put that one in the end zone. And now that brings on Tanner Dayton for the extra point try. Dayton had a field goal earlier in the game that was blocked, and now he comes on for the extra point. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it's blocked again. Salem Hills got there and blocked it. And so their 2nd time tonight, they've blocked a Maple Mountain kick. And with 3:22 to go in the 1st quarter, it's Maple Mountain 6, Salem Hills 0. Chris, the defense forces a turnover, forces 2 punts, and the offense makes the big play. Talk about that momentum change.
Yeah, that's huge for Maple Mountain's defense. Salem comes in as a high-powered offense. They can move the ball well. They can run the ball. They can put it through the air. But they haven't even picked up a 1st down this evening, and just doing that so far in the 1st quarter has got to give them plenty of confidence. And it'll be interesting as this game goes on, because both teams played last Friday. It's a Wednesday night. You've got to be tired. You've got to be sore. You didn't have a whole week to recover from last week's game.
So it is something definitely to keep an eye on as we go throughout this one. But a big golden opportunity for Maple Mountain, and they cash in to take the early 6-0 lead. Tanner Dayton's got the ball teed up on the 40, and he'll put a foot into it. And this is a deep kick once again, and Salem Hills will watch this one go all the way through the end zone. And the Skyhawks will start at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments Salem's made here. Nothing's worked for him so far. Credit Maple Mountain secondary for playing tight coverage, and then the defensive line has been able to get pressure on Guston with just 3 or 4 guys blitzing.
So if Maple Mountain can continue that pressure, and they got to find a way, and I don't know if there's really a complete way to shut down a player like Porter Guston, but you have to find a way to contain him. And Guston is going to give the ball 1st down to Isaac Parrish. And Parrish is going to find his way, get upended pretty close to the marker, and that's actually not going to be Parrish. That is Jackson Bowden, and he gets about 9 yards, close to another Salem Hills 1st down, their 1st of the night.
And that's another Skyhawk.
That was just a couple of missed tackles by Maple Mountain, but credit the running back for coming with a head of steam and keeping his legs turning that time.
So 4 wide receivers for the Skyhawks, and they're going to go once ahead right up the middle.
Billy Wolfcomb this time. A gain of 5 up to the 35-yard line.
Wolfgim on the carry there for
Second
Salem
down and
Hills, and he
5.
gets about 5.
Yeah, he'll pick up 5 yards on first down. It looked like he got a little head start there and might have been offsides or false start there as he was moving forward before the ball was snapped. But
Salem Hills going quicker, and that's going to be another first down run as they're starting to rip them off as they get out to around the 50-yard line. Salem Hills gets another first down, and that was Isaac Parrish this time on the carry.
yeah, they're changing out the running backs at wholesale tonight.
Goes
Looks like they have
15 yards,
3 talented
follows
guys that
50,
can carry the
and
ball
that's
for
another
Salem here.
Skyhawk.
So the offense starting to get going for Salem Hills, 2:25 to go. First quarter, Gustin's going to keep this one, get to the 50, get outside at the 45 to the 40, 35. He's going to be knocked out of bounds finally at around
Porter
the
Gustin.
25-yard line. That's a first down for Salem Hills.
Yeah, when Gustin gets around the corner, he
gain of
is hard to
25
bring
yards.
down when he gets all
That's
that
another
momentum going.
Skyhawk.
Maple Mountain's got to do a better job of containing him early and not allowing him to get to the edge.
Gustin, 6'5", 245 pounds, quarterback and linebacker. A lot of people are saying that he goes to more of a linebacker set at the college level, but having some good success this season for Salem Hills.
Yeah, when you're that athletic, usually you are the quarterback on your high school team, and then you'll move on to college and play a different position.
Salem Hills will empty the backfield here. Gustin by himself, and he'll take the snap. Now being pressured here, he throws that one high and incomplete. Out there intended
Pass
for
is incomplete.
number
Billy Wolfgrim.
8. That's Billy Wolfgrim
Second down,
as the
10
intended
yards
receiver.
to go.
Yeah, great job by Maple Mountain. They brought some pressure there. They were able to get to Gustin, and he was forced to make an errant pass.
Salem Hills substituting quite a bit, maybe to keep some of those fresh legs there. You have the opposite going on for the final game of the regular season next week. You have a nice, kind of a longer break and a longer rest period before the final game of the regular season. That's again right up the middle. Couple of tackles broken, lowers his head, and gets to around, and that's Jackson Bowden as he gets inside the 5 to about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, Bowden, he's a
another
5'10",
Skyhawk.
240 senior. He's definitely another big back.
First and
that
goal
Maple
from the
Mountain
8.
struggled to bring down tonight. I'd look for Salem to continue to run the ball up the middle.
Going again right up the middle, getting down to
Billy Wolfgrim
about the 5,
crosses
and
the
that was
5 to
Wolfgrim on the carry.
just before the 5.
And you're seeing Salem Hills now start
Second down,
to go quicker as well.
and
Instead
goal
of
from the 5.
taking a little more time, they're getting the play call from the sideline, getting to this line of scrimmage and going.
Yeah, and they are substituting at a high level. Maple Mountain has no answer on this drive for the run. We'll see if they can't stiffen up here as they move inside the 5.
Second and 5, right up the middle. That's Gustin at the 5, lowers his head at the 2. Does he get in? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Salem Hills.
Skyhawks.
So Salem Hills answers Maple Mountain's lawn touchdown pass with running the ball up the middle, and then a nice lawn run by Gustin that set up his own touchdown there, and Salem will tie this up 6-6 with a minute 24 to go.
1:24 to go. Salem Hills with the extra point will have the opportunity to take the lead.
Hubert.
Yeah, Salem Hills has a guy that's been coming wide open on those kickoffs, on those PATs, so we'll see if Maple Mountain can adjust.
They're lining up similar to the Oregon style of going for the extra point, where they'll see if they can get the good look to go for 2. High snap, kick is down, it's up, and it is good. And with 1:24 to go in the first, Salem Hills is taking the lead. It's the Skyhawks 7, the Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain 6. As we continue in this first quarter, and you talk about getting this late in the season, how exciting it is from a standpoint of these games are starting to mean something. Playoff positions on the line. These aren't just games to play games at this point. These are games with a lot of meaning.
Yeah, that's a good point. You also know who your team is at this point. The first couple of weeks, you're trying to figure out who can really play at this point. People have established, hey, I'm starting on the line, I'm starting a linebacker. So this is where that you can fine-tune and hone those skills at those positions and make a run into the playoffs.
Region 8 is matched up with, I want to say it's Region 4 or 5 as everything's set up. If Maple Mountain does finish 4th, they're going back up to Salt Lake City to take on Woods Cross potentially in the first round of the playoffs. Line drive kick goes to Jake Maffey. Maffey will keep it at the 25. Get up, break a tackle, the 35 to the 40, and he's going to have good field position, and he's finally brought down close to midfield. So Maple Mountain again, but there's a flag, and so this one could be coming back a little ways.
Well, it looks like that flag might have been for a late hit. There was something on that sideline after the play had ended, but we'll have to let the refs sort that out. But if it is a late hit on St. Hills, Maple Mountain will be in great field position. Wow.
So waiting for the official call, and it's a dead ball personal foul against Salem Hills.
Personal foul.
So that will tack on some to the end of the run, and Maple Mountain for the third time tonight is going to start north of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and it looks like Maple Mountain's going to have to score tonight. I think Salem's figured out they can't throw the ball at Maple Mountain, so they'll probably adjust and try and run it up the middle with those big backs. So Hall's going to have to probably air it out tonight as well.
1:13 to go in the first. Jaron Hall takes the snap, throws a quick screen. That's out complete. Fighting his way ahead, it looks like it was Jake Dixon. And Dixon gets around 4 or 5.
Yeah, great job by Maple Mountain taking what Salem's giving you on first down. If you pick up 5 yards on 1st and 10, that's usually going to lead to more success on the later downs.
Under a minute, first quarter. 7-6, Salem Hills leading Maple Mountain. The difference in the game, Salem Hills blocking an extra point early on in this one.
They also blocked a field goal.
Shotgun set for Jaron Hall. 5 wide receivers, Hall again to throw. He's going to be immediately pressured, steps up in the pocket, goes to cut back, gets away, now going to fight his way ahead, and gets, I want to say, about 3 to around the 32-yard line. So takes a play that looked like it was going to go for a loss and makes something out of it.
Yeah, that was a great job by Hall being very shifty on that play. There was nothing there. That was all him picking up that extra 3 yards and bringing up a more manageable 3rd and 2.
So no play will be snapped before the end of the first quarter. At the end of one from Salem Hills High School, it's the Skyhawks of Salem Hills 7 and Maple Mountain Golden Eagles 6. You're listening to you're watching high school football on the Spanish Fork Community Network. Here at Salem Hills High School, start of the second quarter, the Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain in Salem Hills territory on a 3rd and 2. They need the 30-yard line for a first down. Ryan Fickens alongside Chris Hurst bring you Maple Mountain football. Cannon Miner in motion. Jaron Hall is going to keep it, get to the corner. He's got the first down to the 25 to the 20, and he'll take a step out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That's a first down, Maple Mountain.
Yeah, it was a great job by Hall getting the yards and getting out of bounds, but what a difference when Hall takes it out and gets the corner to Gustin. When Gustin got the corner here, he was stiff-arming people, and he's been causing all sorts of havoc at his linebacker position by getting pressure on Hall, but great job by Maple Mountain. They're picking up the first down and keeping this drive alive.
So 1st and 10, ball sits on the 20-yard line. Maple Mountain spreading the field, 5 wide receivers, Jake Maffey, Cannon Miner to the bottom of your screen. Hall takes the snap, steps back to throw, has some time. Now he's going to be pressured, throws towards the corner and throws it away, incomplete. Looked like it was Brandon Beebe in,
10 yards to go.
Was, I guess you could say, the intended receiver, although that one was meant to be thrown away.
Yeah, great job by Hall throwing it away, but that was a better job by Maple Mountain protecting that time. Unfortunately, there was nobody open downfield. That's the most time Hall's had all night.
So 2nd and 10. Maple Mountain looking to regain control of the lead. 2 games left in the regular season for the Golden Eagles. Looking to try to move up in the standings to get a higher playoff position. Right now they sit 4th. Hall set from shotgun. He's gonna throw out there. That was complete. That's Jared Flake in the slot. Flake gets down inside the 15. Looks like they're gonna give him the 14-yard line. That's a pickup of 6, and that puts you a 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, they just ran a little slant that time and were able to pick up a few yards. It It's interesting they threw right at Guston's side. He's been blitzing a lot. That time he dropped back into coverage, though.
3rd and 4 coming up here. 4 wide receivers, trips to the bottom of your screen. They're going to give it up the middle, and that's going to go Connor Ellis. And Ellis, it looks like, is going to end up being, in fact, he lost, it looks like, about 2. Porter Guston in on the tackle for Salem Hills.
Couple of yard loss. That'll bring up fourth down and
Since
6.
Salem Hills has blocked a couple of kicks, they will bring the kicking team. It looked like they weren't going to. Salem Hills has blocked a couple of kicks on that. I believe it's been on the left side. We'll have to watch and see if Maple Mountain's shored up that protection.
And the interesting thing, too, is they're kicking into the wind at this point as well. So this is going to be an interesting kick to watch. 32-yard field goal try. Maple Mountain late getting a guy on. It's going to be Jason Blanthorne to hold, Tanner Dayton to kick.
And we got a delay
now
of
it looks
game.
like we're going to have a
timeout.
timeout called by Maple Mountain.
And they have to waste a timeout there because somebody on the sideline wasn't paying attention to what they were doing there. And we'll see what happens here on this kick. But
10:24 to go, second quarter. Salem Hills 7, Maple Mountain 6. And, you know, Chris, it's something to watch for. 2 games left in the season. You got Salem Hills tonight, you got Springville. The 2 teams, if you're Maple Mountain, that are in front of you, Maple Mountain finds a way to win both of those. They could finish as high as that number 2 spot.
Yeah, they could. It'll be interesting to see how they do tonight. If they can win tonight, Salem Hills just blew out Springville last week, so you would think Maple Mountain would be favored in there and at least get a shot at a home game.
So Tanner Dayton on for the field goal try. 32-yard kick once again. Snap is down, kick is up, and it's blocked again.
It's blocked.
Salem Hills blocks their 3rd kick, their 2nd field goal of the game. This one is returnable, and the Skyhawks will get it out to around the 24, 25-yard line where they'll take over.
Yeah, that is 3 block kicks tonight. Special teams is coming back to haunt Maple Mountain. They fumbled a punt. They did recover it, but special teams has been shaky. I give the edge to Salem Hills as their punters also changed the field position a couple times as well.
And so we'll see Salem Hills on their last possession give us a steady dose of the run game. And we'll see if Salem Hills will continue that trend. I mean, I would think it worked last time, but they would stick with that. And Porter Guston set in what looks to be the pistol formation on 1st down. They're going to run the option to the right. The pitch goes out to the back. He's going to end up getting around 7. I believe that was Wolfgrim again on the carry.
Make it 7.
Salem has some quick backs. It looks like when they get the ball, they just accelerate to open space or through the hole. Maple Mountain does not have an answer for the run game tonight.
So gain of 7 on 1st down. A steady dose of Wolfgrim, Jackson, Bowden tonight so far for Salem Hills. 2nd and 3 coming up. Guston's going to keep it on the draw. Tries to turn the corner. He's going to get the 1st down out across the 40, lowers his head, and gets away to around the 43-yard line. And that's going to be a 1st down for Salem Hills.
Yeah, when Guston, he's not going to go down easy. He's going to lay the blow on the Maple Mountain defenders, and Jordan Larson did good just to hang on to him and bring him down.
So Salem Hills continuing.
It looked like they wanted to throw the ball early, but they've completely adjusted and are going with the run game now, which has been a lot more successful.
Ball sits on the 43-yard line, and Guston set, going to give it up the middle. That's Bowden outside of the 40, or to the 50, and then fights his way down. There ends up being around the 42-yard line, and another 1st down for Salem Hills.
Yeah, they definitely have the ball rolling now with this run game, as they have plenty of options though at running back. They were kind of a 3-headed monster back there, and if you want to include the quarterback Guston, they've got 4 guys that have been running the ball well tonight.
8:45 to go in the 2nd. The run game in high school football does keep that clock moving. So Salem Hill set 4 wide receivers are going to give it. This time, it looks like that's Wolfgram again. He's going to get inside the 30. And that's Isaac Parrish. He's been the third guy, number 28, the senior running back. So it's been Wolfgram, Parrish, and Bowden has been very big in the Salem Hills run game. And the Skyhawks get a first down at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, hopefully those numbers show up a lot better on television. I'm struggling to see who's carrying the ball, as that was number 28, Parrish, that time. But they have been very effective at finding the edge, finding holes in Maple Mountain's linebacking core.
Powder blue jerseys with black lettering and black numbers for Salem Hills. Shotgun set, rolls out to the right. Gustin's going to keep it. He's going to lower his head, gets to the 20, still on his feet, down to about the 17-yard line. Guess that was actually to Gustin's left, not his right. Had another Skyhawk first down.
We do have a flag on the play. We'll have to see what it is here.
Block in the back against,
Holding against the Skyhawks.
I guess holding against Salem Hills.
That'll move the ball back 10 yards, and that might be the answer Maple Mountain needs, is for Salem Hills to commit some penalties, because they have no answer for the run at this time. But Salem Hills line is blowing Maple Mountain's defensive line back a yard, and they are opening up lots of holes.
13 yards to go.
So the ball's moved back to the 30-yard line. And it looks like that's going to be first and about 13 or so.
Bowden will check into the game at running back this time.
Salem Hills spreads the field with 4 wide receivers. Gustin going to take the option, pitches it to Bowden. He's hit in the backfield and dropped. Immediately getting there looked to be Zach Jeffers, number 35. Or no, I'm sorry, that was Chantry Dean, number 15, getting there to make the stop.
33-yard line.
That was a great job by Maple Mountain. That is the first time they've stopped the ball carrier earlier.
So now that puts it 2nd and 16. So a couple of big stops coming up here. Salem Hills has 4 wide receivers, single back. Gustin to throw, screen pass in the slot, diving attempt made by Maple Mountain, but that one goes incomplete. Looks like it was Jason Blanthorne making the diving attempt at the interception.
So on that play, they elect to pass when they've had such great success running the ball here. It's kind of, and they didn't even go play action. They've set the play action up with the run, but that seems kind of like an interesting play call to me.
So it's 3rd and about 16. Jesse Rowley and Cooper Smith, 2 wide receivers for Salem Hills, checking in as they will look to spread the field here. You would think a throwing situation, they need 16. Gustin from the pistol, single back. Gustin takes the draw on the keeper, gets to the 30, and then he's going to be hit by a host of Golden Eagles, and he gets to around the 26-yard line. So gain of about 7, but it still puts in a 4th and manageable here for Salem Hills.
Well, it will bring up 4th and about 10, 11 here. So if you call that manageable, I don't know if that's the most ideal situation, but Salem Hills probably does not have the kicking game here. So if you're Salem Hills, I don't know why you just don't run it here again. They've had great success, and worst case scenario, you give Maple Mountain a bad field position.
Well, and you talk about it too as well. You're kind of in no man's land here if you're Salem Hills. Gustin's going to roll out to the right. Now he's got the option to run. He'll keep it, looking for the first down. He's going to be taken out of bounds, short of the marker. And so it's 6:28. With 6:28 to go in the second quarter, Maple Mountain's going to get the football back.
Yeah, that was a great job by Maple Mountain's defense. They're not allowing Gustin to pick up the first down on the run there. Once he gets ahead of steam, he's hard to bring down. So they went low that time, got him by the legs, and were able to bring him down. And we'll see what Hall can do here as Maple Mountain trails 7-6 with 6:28 to go in the first half.
The touchdown earlier from Maple Mountain, a 79-yard touchdown pass from Jaron Hall to Cannon Minor. Jaron Hall will come out of the shotgun set. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Hall set to throw with time, steps up, now under some pressure, rolls back to the left. Looking to do something with it, throws it towards the sideline and throws it away. And it looks like Salem Hills looking for some intentional grounding, but it doesn't look like the penalty's been thrown.
Yeah, it looked like Flake was down there on that near side, but there was nobody open downfield as Hall just has to throw that away.
So 2nd and 10 coming up here for Maple Mountain. Golden Eagles are on the road this week. Next week back at home for Springville, the final game of the regular season.
Yeah, Maple Mountain is sold out to the pass here. I don't think they feel like they can run it on Salem tonight.
2nd and 10. they're gonna go to the reverse. It's Cannon Minor. Minor trying to turn the corner at the 25, and he's gonna be brought down right there. Will get about 3 yards or so and makes it about a 3rd and 7. And Chris, I think you brought up a good point. We haven't seen a lot of attempts with Jordan Larson tonight. We haven't seen Cole Casper a lot out of the backfield. It looks to be pretty one-dimensional. We're going to go down the field and throw it.
Yeah, and when they do try and run it like they did that last time, they do it with the reverse, which was successful. They got 5 yards on the play, and they'll bring up 3rd and 5. But still, I don't think with Guston in the middle of that linebacking core that they feel like they can run on Salem tonight.
So 3rd down, needing about the 32 for a 1st down. They're going to spread the field here with 4 wide receivers. Or 5 wide receivers as Hall rolls out. Flag comes in. He's got a man open in the flat, but he goes downfield. He's got his man out across the 50 to the Salem Hills 44-yard line. That looked to be number 26, Brandon Beebe on the reception, but there's a flag, and this one's probably coming back.
Yeah, that would have been a big pickup for Maple Mountain, but thanks to another penalty, they will move it back 10 yards. And quite honestly, they're trying everything they can do to stop Salem Hills. Salem Hills is blitzing, and their defensive line and linebackers have been able to get plenty of pressure on Hall tonight, so can't blame them for trying to stop them with a hold there. It's just against the rules.
And I mean, Jaron Hall had a couple of men open, had Jake Dixon on that play kind of in the middle of the field. But now you're in a 3rd and 23. Now we saw Maple Mountain last week convert a 3rd and 41. Or no, I guess it was a 1st and 41. But now it's a 3rd and 23. The Golden Eagles need out to around the 33-yard line or so for the 1st down. Likely going to have to take a shot down the field here.
And Hall has the arm to do that. It's just, will he have enough time to be able to throw it downfield?
There looks to be some confusion on the Maple Mountain offense, and the Golden Eagles will take a timeout.
Yeah, that's a good use of a timeout. If you're disorganized, you don't even have a chance of keep picking up the 1st down here. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we're going to announce the Taco Time player of the game. You can go visit Taco Time at 641 Kirby Lane, or give them a call at 801-794-5353. So Ryan, who do you think is the leading candidate for the Taco Time player of the game tonight?
I want to say with the 79-yard touchdown reception, Cannon Minor, although Blanthorne has gotten a lot of pressure on Porter Guston so far tonight.
Yeah, and they've been able to bring him down as well. The defense has tackled well. They've stayed low. He's not one guy that you usually can bring down by yourself, but they've teamed up there to tackle him and put plenty of pressure on him as well, as Salem can't throw the ball tonight.
3rd down and 22 coming for Maple Mountain. 5:04 to go in the 2nd quarter. 5 wide receivers, trips to the bottom of your screen. Hall set back to throw with time. Now being pressured, will roll away. Throws it out in the flats. Got his man. That's Jake Dixon to the 30. Gets the 1st down out to around the 35-yard line. And that's a 1st down, Maple Mountain.
That was a great job by Hall finding Dixon across the middle. And with all the pressure Salem was bringing, there was plenty of room in the middle for Maple Mountain to operate there. And they pick up a huge 3rd and 22 there.
Not often you're going to convert that 3rd and 22, and I'm sure Brad Burtonshaw and the coaching staff for Maple Mountain does not want to be in that position again, as they'll come out to the 35-yard line and spread the field with 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, they need to cut down on those mental penalties like holding, and if I'm Salem, I'm only bringing 3 or 4, because when they blitz, Maple Mountain has been able to get the ball out quickly.
Hall throws a screen pass in the slot, and that's going to fight his way ahead to about the 42-yard line. I want to say that was, trying to think of who that was. Couldn't catch a number.
I didn't
who the reception was.
Catch the number, but that was a quick pass out to the slot. they were able to pick up a few yards, and that's going to be open if Salem continues to bring pressure from their linebackers.
And we've seen Maple Mountain go to those quick throws out to the slant, to that slot route multiple times tonight. 2nd down and 3, 4:06 to go, 2nd quarter. They're going to pitch it. First time we've seen a run. This is Casper who's going to turn the corner. He's going to get the first down out to the 7-yard line. That's a first down.
Yeah, and what they've done is by throwing the ball downfield, it's kind of sounds weird, but it's opened up the run there. But they are still running to the outside and trying to get the corner there. But back to those short passes, if one of those Maple Mountain wide receivers is able to catch the ball, break one tackle, they have plenty of speed to break it open, as we saw earlier with Minor.
And it's not just the idea that Maple Mountain has the ball now. They're going to give it right up the middle again. This looks to be Jordan Larson lowering his head. He's going to get 8, still moving the pile, and he's going to come pretty close to the first down. It looks like from the spot, it looks like he got that first down.
Yeah, it looks like he did. That was a great call by Maple Mountain. With the fake there, I thought Hall had the ball, and I saw the pile moving.
And that will be a Maple Mountain first down as they move the chains with 3:26 to go in the second. Now Salem Hills got the ball. Maple Mountain deferred the coin toss, so the Golden Eagles get the ball to open the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, if they can sustain a drive here and score right before the half and take all the momentum and get the ball back, that would be huge.
First down at 10, goes right up the middle. That looks to be Connor Ellis, number 3 on the carry. And that gets down to around the 39-yard line, gain of about 3.
Yeah, and if you can run the ball like they have the last couple times up the middle with a little bit of success, that will open up things for play action and take some of the pressure off the defensive linemen and linebackers just continually blitzing. They'll have to think, is it going to be a run or is it going to be a pass?
Salem Hills has been playing a lot of the cover 2, just putting those 2 safeties out there, kind of playing out on an island. As Hall steps back to throw, looks over the middle, it's got Connor Ellis. Ellis gets ahead for another first down to the Salem Hills 28-yard line. That's a first down.
Yeah, that was an interesting play there by Maple Mountain. They had Connor Ellis and Jake Dixon right in the same neighborhood. I don't know if they were supposed to be that close together, but it worked out that time, and they pick up the first down.
And so now it's going to be 1st and 10. Maple Mountain driving, 2:25 to go here in the 2nd quarter. 4 wide receivers. All directing traffic here. Jake Maffey to the bottom of your screen. In motion's gonna go Flake. Hall's gonna keep it. Gets the 30 to the 25, makes a man miss, and it's gonna be escorted out of bounds there by number 2. That's Jordan Taylor, a defensive back for Salem Hills.
Yeah, so there's 2 minutes and 3 seconds here. If you're Maple Mountain, I think your strategy at this point is to continue to run, pick up some yards, and run this clock out. You don't want to give Salem too much time to score, but obviously if you get a big play, take it. You want to take points.
And one key thing to think about, those 2 timeouts you've already used, you're down to 1 here with a 2:03 to go. Hall set from shotgun, 5 wide receivers on the play, trips the top of your screen. Hall sets back to throw, has some time, now he's going to be pressured and forced out of the pocket. Throws high and incomplete. That was intended for Cannon Minor.
Yeah, the ball was thrown just a little over Minor there, but Hall was rolling to his left, and it's very hard to hold your left and then try and throw it back to your right.
So 3rd and 7 coming up here. Golden Eagles need the 18-yard line for a first down to keep this drive going. 1:57 to go before halftime. Salem Hills and Maple Mountain.
I'd say they're in field goal range, but since they can't block for these attempts, they're probably in 4-down territory here.
5 wide receivers. Hall from shotgun gonna throw. Has some time, now being pressured by a couple of Skyhawks. He'll have to throw it away. He was being chased there by number 51, that's Braden Hansen. And it looks like a flag wanted here, and their flag does come out, but I don't think it's going to be intentional grounding.
It looks like the penalty is going to be for unsportsmanlike conduct on the team here, but they are on Salem, but they are discussing it. There was nobody there. He had a...
And it does look like this is coming back. Their official just pointed to around the 36-yard line.
Yeah, he did have Dixon early across the middle, but wasn't able to hit it. The problem is when he starts rolling out, his receivers are not coming to that side of the field to try and bail Hall out.
And sure enough, it is intentional grounding, which will make it 4th down and a while coming up as the ball is spotted on the 41-yard line. And Maple Mountain's going to go ahead and punt, but a sideline warning was issued to Salem Hills.
Yeah, they were crowding the line there. I think this is the right call, though, punting. You got to try and trust your defense here. They've played well so far tonight. They've only given up 7 points to this high potent Salem Hills offense.
Cannon Minor back to punt. Maple Mountain again late getting their final man onto the field. Minor back on his 43-yard line. Back deep for Salem Hills. And Minor's going to put a foot into it at the 45. A good punt. It's going to go out of bounds at around the, I want to say, the 7-yard line. And with a minute 44 to go, Salem Hills starts deep in your territory.
Yeah, that's a great kick.
Deep in their territory.
That was a great kick by Minor to pin him down. Had the ball not gone out of bounds, though, it dropped down clear to the 1-yard line. That was a great job by Minor on making Salem have to go 93 yards now, and they only have a minute 44 to do that.
The Skyhawks do have all 3 timeouts. They do have the leadership in their quarterback, Porter Gustin, to lead this kind of a drive. We haven't seen them have success with the passing game tonight, and that's something here in this situation that Salem Hills is going to have to do. They're going to have to throw the football if they want to put points on the board before halftime. Gustin from shotgun, 4 wide receivers. He's going to throw. He's going to look down the field. That's going to be complete right around the 1st down marker. It's going to be enough for a 1st down out across the 20. I believe that was Gabe Franzen on the reception, number 20 for Salem Hills. And the Skyhawks are going to go fast with a minute 38.
Yeah, they'll have to go fast here to score, but it looks like they're very capable of that.
Gustin from shotgun, he's going to throw. Has plenty of time, throws it out in the flat. That's complete and knocked out of bounds. As again, that was Gabe Franzen, or Leif Franzen, number 20 on the catch.
Yeah, Franzen running a little out route there and gets out of bounds. If you're Maple Mountain, you got to try and bring that guy down inbounds, keep that clock running, or make Salem use a timeout. But they just seemed like they were happy corralling him out of bounds that time. But great job by Franzen getting out of bounds.
And the Skyhawks will use their first timeout of the half here with a minute 20 to go. A 7-6 game. We're approaching halftime. And really, I think with both of the way these offenses have performed, maybe a little surprised that it's only 7-6.
Yeah, both offenses have been able to move the ball well down the field. It's just been they haven't been able to capitalize on good field position, especially Maple Mountain. They've had the ball 3 times on Salem Hills' side of the field. They just have not been able to punch it in, and they've had a couple of blocked punts here as well.
Really, the big difference in this ball game, the blocked extra point and the 2 blocked field goals by Salem Hills. That special teams for Maple Mountain kind of struggling, but they're still in this one.
Yeah, they're in it, and their defenses, they played well. They've been able to bring down Gustin, who's just been a beast. When he gets around the corner, he's throwing stiff arms and throwing people down, and you can see why he's being recruited at the Division I level.
So the timeout is ending as Salem Hills is set and ready to go. 1:20 to go here in the second quarter. 4 wide receivers. Gustin set from shotgun. He's going to throw. He's got some time. A lot of time in that pocket. He's going to take a shot deep. He's got a man out there, but he overthrew him.
Yeah, it was pretty good coverage by Maple Mountain deep in that secondary. And they were able to get a little bit of pressure. They need to probably bring one more guy if they want to get to Gustin, because Salem Hills' offensive line's been holding up well and giving him plenty of time to throw the ball.
You are in a 3rd and 7 here, so potentially you could get the ball back if you're Maple Mountain with a stop here. They do have the 1 timeout they could use to stop the clock, but in this situation, probably not likely to happen. Set and ready to go. Gustin to throw with time. He's got plenty of time. Flag comes in. Pressure comes. They drop it off to the back. Tripped up just, it looks like, short. It's going to be close, but we'll have to see what the penalty's for. Looks like he did get the 30-yard line.
That one's coming back, I believe. It looked like we have a hold, and the official does confirm that. And that'll bring up a 3rd and about 17 here, depending on the spot of the foul. But good job by Maple Mountain's defensive line there. They're fighting through those blocks and getting to Guston and putting a little pressure on him.
Now the interesting thing here to watch, how will Salem Hills here now being at 3rd and 17, will they throw for it? Or now in fact it's going to be a 3rd and 21. If they throw for it and the pass goes incomplete,
3rd down,
then obviously the clock stops. Will Salem Hills here run the ball and force Maple Mountain potentially use their final timeout?
Yeah, they got Isaac Parrish in the backfield. I wouldn't be surprised if they handed the ball off to him this time.
Clock running, 50 seconds to go in the quarter. Guston to throw, has time, now being pressured. He's gonna almost go down, throws it out of the backfield to the running back, and he's gonna come up short of the marker. And 38 seconds, no timeout signal yet.
That was a great job by Guston getting rid of that one. It looked like Maple Mountain had him back there for a safety, but he's somehow able to get rid of the ball there and get it completed downfield to Parrish.
And so 20 seconds, it doesn't look like Maple Mountain's gonna stop the clock, and so Salem Hills will likely take one last play and then be able to see here 10 seconds to go in the quarter, and we'll see if Salem Hills even snaps this. I believe they have to. The 25-second clock I don't think will be up, and now they'll use their final timeout with 2.4 seconds to go in the quarter. So an interesting kind of maybe a surprise that Maple Mountain didn't use that final timeout and try to play for points.
Yeah, well, if you do call that timeout, you're forcing them to punt here. Now your defense is going to be on the field for one more play. Wonder if 10, 15 seconds into that sequence, if they didn't realize that, or maybe they thought Salem would just let the clock run down. But now Salem has a chance to score here. If you're Maple Mountain, you want to go completely prevent defense, because Salem Hills does have to go 74 yards to score before the half.
And I mean, you have a quarterback highly recruited who has a great arm, who I'm sure can get the ball 40 yards down the field. And you have some good athletic playmakers, but you have to think Maple Mountain defensively is going to be dropping that secondary.
Yeah, they will be. But at the same time, if somebody gets loose, breaks a tackle, you always run the risk of Salem Hills getting a touchdown and taking all the momentum into the locker room before the half. If you're Salem here, you're right. Just, throw one downfield. Maybe you'll have a guy break a tackle and pick up 6 points or possibly 7 before the end of the half.
2.4 seconds to go in the second quarter. Porter Guston from shotgun will take one last heave, and he will step back and let it go. Got a couple of men down there. It's going to be incomplete, and that's how the first half will end here at Salem Hills High School with your score, the Salem Hills Skyhawks 7, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles 6. You're watching high school football on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
Don't want to go anywhere.
The Skyhawks of Salem Hills leading Maple Mountain 7-6. As we welcome back, I'm Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, a first half with two teams throughout the season that have scored a lot of points, and we have a battle of the defenses going on here.
Yeah, but it does feel like both teams have kind of found their stride on offense, and then maybe we'll have a powder keg of offense explode here in the second half and see some more points. That's what I would expect. But yeah, it seemed like both teams early on in that first half were just trying to fill each other out.
We are underway for the third quarter, and Cannon Minor will have this one go off his hands into the end zone for a touchback. And Maple Mountain will start their opening drive of the third quarter from their 20-yard line. Maple Mountain in the first quarter gets a 79-yard touch, or in the end of the first quarter, a 79-yard touchdown pass from Jaron Hall to Cannon Minor.
Yeah, that was a great catch by Minor there, and then he found a lane and was able to get into the end zone on that earlier touchdown pass. But Jaron Hall threw an early interception, but has settled down and looked pretty crisp here so far tonight.
So opening play the third quarter, Jaron Hall and the Golden Eagles come out in a shotgun set. 4 wide receivers and a single back. Hall throws the screen pass. That's complete out to Cannon Minor. Minor's going to get some forward progress. It looks like they're going to give him, I want to say, the 24-yard line, so a quick pickup of about 4.
Yeah, and Maple Mountain has not had a lot of time to throw the ball tonight, so you'll probably see a lot of shorter passes. Hopefully you break a tackle, pick up some more yards, but you can't complain about getting 4 yards on a short pass. When anytime Hall's tried to drop back, he just has not had the time to get the ball, as Salem Hills defensive line has got plenty of pressure on him this evening.
So second and about 6 coming up. And Maple Mountain will spread the field with 5 wide receivers. Jaron Hall by himself in the backfield in shotgun. And Hall will throw. Gonna look down the field. He's got a guy out there, and that's incomplete. Looking for Cole Casper. And Casper had a step or two there. It looked like that was on Porter Gustin in coverage.
Yeah, Casper had a step on him, and it looked like the ball was there. It looked like Casper maybe wasn't expecting it and didn't see it until he reached out at the last second. But it looked like if he would have been looking for the ball, that he possibly could have caught that in stride and gotten 6. I don't think he saw it.
3rd down and 6 here for Maple Mountain. They need the 30 for a first down. 5 wide receivers, 3 to the top of your screen. Hall steps back to throw, has some time, steps up in the pocket. Now gonna try to escape, and he's going down. Back at around the 15-yard line.
And that's Albright that brings him down that time. Yeah, Salem Hills has just had great pressure this night between Gustin, Albright, and the defensive line. Hall's been scrambling all night long.
Salem Hills will send Cooper Smith, number 10, back deep to receive. Cannon Minor will put a foot into it around the 1-yard line. And here comes the snap from Maple Mountain. And the punt is away. Coming up, fair catch, and immediately getting hit. No flag came in. And the ball will go out of bounds at around the 48-yard line. And so Salem Hills is going to get good field position to start their first possession of the 3rd quarter, leading this ball game.
Yeah, they'll start on the right side of the 50 here. But on that punt, they interfered with him. I guess the officials thought that the Salem Hills defender pushed him into the runner that time.
So 1st down and 10. Ball sits on the 48-yard line. Porter Gustin from shotgun with 4 wide receivers, single back. Gustin throws the screen pass. That's complete. Out to around the 45. Breaks a couple of tackles and gets down to around the 42-yard line. Trying to get a number on the reception.
Yeah, whoever it was, he broke a couple tackles by trying to spin out of him. If you're Maple Mountain, you got to hold your ground. You got to wrap up and hang on to something and bring him down.
Is Isaac Parrish on the reception and picks up 9. And that sets up a 2nd and about 1 for Salem Hills. 9:42 to go, 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Maple Mountain needs to negate some of these plays by bringing earlier pressure with the linebackers.
Gustin from the pistol. He's gonna keep it. He's gonna get the first down and get to around the 35-yard line, and Salem Hills moves the chains again, and that's a first down.
And Gustin comes up holding his hand a little bit. We'll see if that continues to nag him as the game goes on, but on average this season, once Gustin carries the ball, he's getting 10 yards a carry. So Maple Mountain, I think, even though they gave up the first down, they've been doing a good job of not giving up any big runs by Gustin tonight.
Salem Hills, a lot of times more of a passing team tonight. We're seeing a heavy dose of the running game. And they're going to give it on first down. Getting a couple, and then 3 or 4
we got a fumble.
Golden Eagles. And looks like the ball did come loose. Maple Mountain trying to say it was theirs. And it looks like they're going to say it was down. It was going to be 2nd down for Salem Hills.
That's an unfortunate call if it was a fumble. But it looked like a fumble to me up here. But the one thing Salem Hills has been able to run with success is if you look down in the trenches there, their offensive line looks quite a bit larger than Maple Mountain's defensive line.
8:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Salem Hills getting fresh legs in there. A lot of times bringing in 3 or 4 guys. Option play to the right. Gustin pitches it out to the back. And then getting there once again, a good job by Maple Mountain. They once again get there and bring down Jackson Bowden on the carry.
Yeah, Bowden's a load to bring down. They did a good job of making sure he didn't get ahead of steam, and he only picks up 3 or 4 yards on that first carry.
So 3rd and they need 6.
And they're in the territory of 4 downs here, so if you only pick up 3 or 4, that's still a successful play here on 3rd down.
4 wide receivers. Gustin in the shotgun with a lone back to his left. You're gonna throw with time. Gustin looks over the middle. He's got his man complete. That's a 1st down. And gets inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line.
Weston takes it all the way to the 19-yard line.
It was a great catch by Money there. He just ran a little slant route. It was wide open as Salem spread the field, and Gustin was able to find him, and they pick up another 1st down here as it looks like they've made some halftime adjustments, Salem's coaching staff, and they've defense has played well, and the offense is moving the ball.
So 1st and 10, ball on the Maple Mountain 19 as Salem Hills is driving here. Their first possession of quarter number 3. Gustin from shotgun. Gonna take the option play to the left. He's gonna keep it at the 20 and gets taken down at around the 18-yard line. Look like Chantry Dean and Jordan Larson getting there on the tackle for Maple Mountain.
And I'm surprised that play wasn't more successful as the Salem Hills offensive line was able to get a push, but Gustin wasn't able to find a crease in that defense as the short side of the field finally became the enemy there.
And one thing that's probably a little different is with this running game, that clock is moving consistently as with 6:18 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Not sure how many more opportunities both teams will get with the run. Gonna throw with time, Gustin. Plenty of time now being pressured, steps up in the pocket, and he's gonna be brought down. On the sack was, it looks like Zach Jeffers, number 35, from his linebacker spot.
Yeah, that was a great job by Jeffers finally getting there from the linebacker spot. But with Gustin, it's hard to tackle him, but you saw Jeffers get low that time and make sure that Gustin didn't do another Houdini move and get away that time.
And now that puts Salem Hills in a 3rd and 20 from the 27-yard line. They need just inside the 7 to get this 1st down. So definitely a passing situation here if you're the Skyhawks, but again, probably in 2-down territory. Gustin from shotgun, 3 receivers, and he's gonna throw. With time, he's got his man right around the marker. Did he make the catch? It looks like they're gonna say it's incomplete. The ball hit the ground before his receiver got there.
Yeah, and I don't know how many plays you have for 4th and 20, so this will be an interesting call with Salem. Do you try and throw it here, or do you play a little field position and maybe try and run a sweep out to the outside, see if you can't just break a hole? Because Salem has been running the ball well as they bring in a fresh set of guys here.
Junior wide receiver Cooper Smith, the intended target on that last one. And 4th down and 20 with 5:19 to go in the quarter. Gustin from shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Maple Mountain looks like they're coming. They're gonna drop back into pass coverage. Gustin with time, throws, got his man. That's gonna be close to the marker.
It's well
in fact,
short.
No, he's well short. He's back at around the 13-yard line, so he doesn't get the marker. And so Maple Mountain takes over on downs.
Yeah, like I said, there's not too many pass patterns that go 20 yards, so Maple Mountain will be able to get the ball here on downs. But you got to credit Maple Mountain's defense. They've came out, they've played well tonight. In the past few weeks, they've given up a lot of points. For example, against Spanish Fork, they gave up 47, Tempe 45, but since then, they've been able to clamp down and play a lot better defense this 2nd half of the season.
5:13 to go, 3rd quarter. Golden Eagles get the ball on their own 14-yard line. Jaron Hall the throw, and that's in and out of the hands of Jake Dixon.
Yeah, those are catches if you're going to win this ball game against a Salem Hills team that's potent. You've got to start making some plays if you're Maple Mountain. You've had plenty of opportunities to get points on the board, but they just have not been able to capitalize it. And just some of those mental mistakes have led to the lack of offense tonight.
Ball on the 14-yard line.
And so 2nd and 10. Maple Mountain breaks the huddle. 4 wide receivers. It looks like single back could be Cole Casper. Hall's going to pitch it to Casper on 1st down. He's going to get ahead to about the 18-yard line and pick up around 4.
So that sets up a 3rd and 6 here. That'll give Maple Mountain more opportunities for maybe a screen pass here to pick up the first down or something short where they have not really been able to throw the ball deep.
3rd down, 6 yards to go.
And one of the, I would say, Chris, the biggest 3rd downs of the night coming here. Hall set from shotgun, 5 wide receivers. Salem Hills looks like they might be bringing some pressure off the end. With time, Hall goes down the middle, that's incomplete. The pass was a 10, it looks like Cannon Minor was running down the slot. Looks like similar to the play they scored on earlier.
Yeah, well, that time Minor was double covered. There was nothing downfield. So Hall was just throwing it to whoever he thought might be able to make a play. And Salem will stop him here and make him go 3 and out.
So 4th down, and Maple Mountain's gonna get ready to punt. Cannon Minor back deep, Cannon Minor back deep to punt. Cooper Smith back deep to receive for Salem Hills. And the ball is fumbled on the snap, and the question is who recovered.
And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at this point. Looks like Salem Hills did.
Yeah, it looks like Salem Hills can just take Guston and line him up in the shotgun and run up the middle 4 times here and come out eventually getting 6 points, right? That's a huge, another special teams mistake that Maple Mountain makes. That's been the difference in tonight's ball game is special teams for Salem Hills is executed at a higher level than Maple Mountain's team has.
And now a good chance, like you said, Chris, that we'll see Porter Guston on the carry. He's got the lone touchdown tonight for Salem Hills. Guston in shotgun. He's going to give it on 1st down.
I believe that was Parrish with the carry.
And that was Parrish right up the middle, and it looks like he got about a yard.
So that'll bring up 2nd and goal with Salem Hills just needing a couple of yards to go here. We'll probably most likely see them run it up the middle again. If they cannot have success on that, they still have the option to go outside.
Unlikely 4-down territory here. With the way you've ran the ball tonight, I would think there's a good chance. Do you have to, I mean, you obviously, if you're Maple Mountain here defensively, you have to be prepared in case they go play action. Roll out Guston, give them an option to throw or run.
Yeah, Salem hasn't been throwing the ball well, but you still have to respect that tonight.
Guston's going to keep this one, going to go toward the goal line, and he gets close, but he's still short. It looks like he's down to the 1-yard line for a quick gain of 2, setting up a 3rd and goal from the 1.
Yeah, we'll probably see something similar to that. Either they'll hand off to Guston or maybe to Bowden here. Both guys being over 240 pounds in a load to bring down. They can get that extra yard for the touchdown.
Big defensive play coming here for Maple Mountain. Right up the middle, Guston on the call.
Looks like we got a penalty
and there's
too.
A penalty flag that came in. So now we'll see here.
The refs are pointing this direction, so this one's going to come back. So we'll have to see what the penalty is here, but Salem's not celebrating.
It looks like they're just figuring out which way to. And now they'll begin to walk Salem Hills back. And so both teams, when they've gotten scoring opportunities tonight, have, turned it over or something. And now not Maple Mountain, but now Salem Hills is going to move them back.
A sideline penalty against the Skyhawks. There's a sideline warning or penalty on that play. Salem will get a 5-yard penalty here, and we'll replay 3rd down.
So now it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. Twins receivers to the top and bottom of your screen. Guston to throw with time. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to be hit, and he will be dropped. A big-time play by the Maple Mountain defense. And one thing, Maple Mountain's defense has really set the tone tonight for their team.
Yeah, I believe that was Blathorn, a sophomore, that got in there first and was able to hang on before his buddies came to help him bring it out. But great stop, like you said, by the Maple Mountain defense that time.
And now 4th and goal. They're going to be back to around the 15-yard line, and no signs of a field goal attempt here by Joel Higginson and Salem Hill, so it looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, and this would be a huge stop for Maple Mountain. The odds of stopping Salem when they start with the ball on their own 4 with this running tack is unlikely, but this would be a huge win for this defense, and hopefully the offense can gain some momentum from this stop.
Clock ticks to 2:08 to go in the third quarter. Porter Gustin from shotgun. 4th down and goal. Gustin to throw with time, going fade route to the end zone. It's batted away, incomplete. Jared Flake was on the coverage. Looks like they were going there.
Is that number 4?
And that was Jesse Rowley, number 1, the intended wide receiver. And so a big stop by the Maple Mountain defense. The defense has done their job tonight. Now the offense has to come to the stage.
Yeah, that's a good point. But that was great coverage by Flake. He saw a lot of those fade routes last week, and he stopped them all last week as well. So we'll have to see if the offense can take the momentum here and drive almost the length of the field there at the starting of their own 14.
Ball sitting at the 14. Jaron Hall from shotgun, 4 wide receiver, single back. Hall set, throws a screen. That's Jake Maffey on the catch, and it's incomplete.
There have been multiple drops by multiple wide receivers tonight, as Maple Mountain just doesn't look like they've been as crisp, especially here in the third quarter. I don't know if the timing's off or the wide receivers' hands are cold, but it's just not. The simple catches have been dropped.
Plenty of time left. I mean, there's as a total time 13 minutes and 55 seconds left. But with the way Salem Hills is running it, you have to, I don't want to say play with a sense of urgency at this point, but you have to take advantage of and make some plays. Hall pressured, and he's going to throw it away. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, 3rd and 10, and if you're Maple Mountain, you got to think maybe possibly running on one of these 1st and 2nd downs and not getting a few of those yards, because they've done that and been able to bring up 3rd and shorter situations. So 3rd and 10, you got to almost go deep here, as they've not been able to move the ball. And Salem Hills, if Maple Mountain's not able to convert, will get the ball with great field position again.
So 3rd and 10 coming here for Maple Mountain. Set and ready to go. They're going to spread the field. 4 wide receivers, single back. Jaron Hall takes the snap. He will throw with time, looking deep down the sidelines. Got a man out there, but it's incomplete.
That was intended for Dixon. That was pretty good coverage downfield. There's nothing there.
And 4th down, and Cannon Minor will come in to punt. And so Salem Hills is going to get good field position here with 1:42 to go in the quarter. And with their running game right now, good field position. Pressure again goes back to your defense.
Yeah, and if you're Minor, you want to catch the ball this time. Last time he dropped it, bobbled it, and wasn't able to get a punt off. He needs to worry about catching it before he punts it.
Minor catches it, gets the punt off, a line drive punt, but it's going to go directly to the sidelines. And so now we'll see here exactly where they're going to mark it.
Salem's going to get great field position once again. Looks like they're bringing it to the 27-yard line.
So 28-yard line it looks like. And when you're playing a team like Salem Hills, you've been in the game for 3 quarters. You can't give them opportunities. Eventually, they're going to cash in.
Yeah, your defense cannot hold them this many times. I mean, Salem's a high-powered offense. They've been able to score plenty of points against some formidable defenses. So Maple Mountain's been hanging tough, but at some point you feel like they're just going to break down here.
Gustin will be set from shotgun. He's going to give it right up the middle and gets about 4 or 5 before he runs into the middle of the Maple Mountain defense. That looked like it was Isaac Parrish on the carry, and it is.
Yeah, Salem Hills has had a lot of success. Their one scoring drive, they were able to run the ball up the middle and around on the edge. They've kind of gone away from that due to Maple Mountain stopping it a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Salem just trying to go to that here on this drive and see if they can't punch it in, where they have had no success throwing the ball.
Gustin and the Skyhawks come set here at the 26-yard line. Going to give it right up the middle again, and making a couple men miss. That looks to be Parrish, and that's Jackson Bowden, who gets down inside the 10. Looks like he's down to the 9-yard line. That's 1st and goal, Salem Hills.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Salem can capitalize it. They've had opportunities inside the 20 and not come away with points a couple times tonight. So if you're them, you got to be anxious to actually get in the end zone. See if they continue to run it up the middle. Looks like they've worn out Maple Mountain's linebackers and defensive line here.
The Maple Mountain defense has been out there quite a bit here in the third quarter. Gustin set, gives it up the middle. That looks to be Bowden, makes a couple men miss, gets inside the 5, and he's down to about the 2-yard line. And that could be the final play here of the third quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Salem's going to let this clock run out, but I'm kind of shocked that we're only at 7-6 here this late in the game, with both offenses having great success this season.
And that will be the final play of the third quarter. At the end of 3 complete here from Salem Hills High School, it's the Skyhawks of Salem Hill 7, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles 6. You're watching high school football on the Spanish Fork Community Network. Here at Salem Hills High School tonight, a 1-point game. Salem Hills 7, Maple Mountain 6, start of the fourth quarter. And Salem Hills in prime scoring position to open up the fourth as they're on 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Seeing if the Skyhawks can punch it in. Gustin on the keeper, and whistles blow and a flag fly.
You got a false start here. The stakes are huge tonight. The winner of this game gets the inside track to the second place in Region 8, with Salem Hills actually clinching if they win it tonight. And the second place team does get a home game in the first round of the playoffs.
It looks like the second place team right now, if everything goes, would get Bountiful or Highland at home in that one. But Bountiful and Highland tied for the second place spot in their region, and they meet the final week of the season next weekend. So a lot going to be on the line in that one. And we'll see here what will happen. 2nd down and goal from the 7. Gustin on the keeper is going to get to the 10. Pitches it at the last second. And I believe that was Bowden once again. He got inside the 5. It looks like he's down to about the 2-yard line. And so it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 2. And you would think here Salem Hills, Chris, is in 2-down territory for sure.
Yeah, worst case scenario, they don't pick up the touchdown on 4th down, and Maple Mountain has to go 98, 99 yards. And that seems unlikely with how both teams have been playing. If you're Maple Mountain here, though, a stop would be huge, another goal line stand.
3rd and goal from the 2. Gustin on the keeper, lowers his head, trying to move the pile to get in, but he is stopped short. Maple Mountain's going to make a 4th down coming up, as looks like it was Jordan Larson and a whole bunch of Golden Eagles who got there.
Yeah, there was Larson got him first and was able to wrap up, and then Zach Jeffers and a couple of those defensive linemen were able to make sure that he didn't use his big frame to get those extra few yards, as he is 6'5".
11:43 to go, fourth quarter. And Salem Hills faces a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line, leading by 1, trying to make some distance between them and the Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain. Porter Gustin will be from the shotgun. They're going to spread the field, 4 wide receivers and a single back. Gustin going to throw it with time, looking, and that's almost intercepted, but it's knocked away. It was Gavin McLean getting there to knock the ball down. Maple Mountain takes over on down.
Yeah, great coverage by McLean coming up on the run and knocking it down. Now Maple Mountain has to go 98 yards here. They need to pick up a 1st down, and it's going to be interesting to see whether they try and line up in an I formation and get a few yards, because if you get a hold here in the end zone, I believe it's a safety.
And so a very big possession starting here for Maple Mountain. A 7-6 game, Salem Hills in this position. And Maple Mountain having to go 98 yards to try to score and take the lead here against Salem Hills. Hall on 1st down. That one's completed. They're going to get out to around the 7, maybe the 8-yard line. And so you will get something there. You'll get about 5 on 1st down.
Well, that does give them a little bit of breathing room as Flake's able to get that 5 yards and bring up a more manageable 2nd and 5, and then they don't have to worry so much about a safety here. It's still a big factor, but
the clock does start to come into play in a sense, because you don't know really how much time, if you give the ball back to Salem Hills, how much you'll have. Hall over the middle. That one's in and out of the hands of Jared Flake, number 9, and the pass goes incomplete, setting up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, there have been several key drops. We've hit this point several times, but there's another one that comes back, and that would have been close to a first down for Maple Mountain. Instead, we got 3rd and 6.
So a key 3rd down. You're back deep in your own territory. 10:38 to go, quarter number 4. Jake Dixon to the bottom of your screen. Hall set. Man goes in motion. Hall's going to keep it right up the middle. Can he get the first down? He does. It's going to be close depending on the spot, but he did get the 16, so that should be a Maple Mountain first down.
Yeah, great call there with the draw with the quarterback. That looked like it's been open as Salem Hills has been trying to get pressure to the outside, and Hall runs up the middle and is able to take advantage of the huge hole and pick up another first down for Maple Mountain, and they needed that desperately.
Jaron Hall going to again, and the Golden Eagles going to spread the field. 5 wide receivers. We've seen a lot of spreading the field tonight for Maple Mountain. Hall set to throw. Quick screen. That's complete to Dixon out the 35. Makes a man miss before he's brought down to about the 36, 37-yard line. And that's close again. They're going to move the chains. That's a first down for Maple Mountain.
That was a great job by Dixon first, catching the ball and then running and picking up a Maple Mountain first down, possibly giving maybe these wide receivers a little bit of confidence in Hall as well.
And a very well-deserved rest for your defense as well. 4 wide receivers, single back to Jaron Hall's left. He's going to step back to throw with time. He's going to dump it off incomplete as he had, it looks like that was Connor Ellis out of the backfield, just overthrew him.
Yeah, he just threw it a little over his head, but that was a good point. These 2 first downs have gotten the defense off the field. They have been on the field what seems like the entire second half so far. They've got to be getting tired, but they've done a great job at stopping the run for Salem. If you're Salem, you've had plenty of chances to put this ball game out of reach, and you just haven't capitalized.
9:42 to go, 4th quarter. 5 wide receivers. Jaron Hall by himself in the shotgun. He'll throw. That's complete. Jake Dixon. And he gets to about the 31. If they give him forward progress, they will to about the 31, and that's a gain of 4, and that sets up a 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, which is a lot more manageable than the 3rd and 10. So Maple Mountain's had success on these 3rd mid-range plays historically, so they probably aren't going to be panicked here, but this would be a critical 3rd down to pick up where your defense has been on the field, and who knows how many more chances you're going to have in the 4th down to get the ball and score.
Maple Mountain needs to get to about the 38-yard line for the first down. Hall takes the snap, rolls out. He's going to throw, got his man around the marker. That's complete. And they complete to Jake Maffey, but he's right at the marker, and
they're giving him the first down.
They're going to give it to him, first down.
So Jake Maffey stays on the right side of the sticks. Looked like from up here that he went behind the line and that it should be 4th down, but Maple Mountain will take the play and get 4 more downs.
First down at 10, ball on the 37. 8:37 to go, 4th quarter. 4 wide receivers, shotgun set for Jaron Hall. Hall steps back to throw with time, dumps it off. That's Cole Casper out of the backfield. He's going to find his way close to another first down. In fact, it looks like it's going to be close, but yep, he got it, first down.
Hall has found multiple receivers on this possession, and it looks like they're starting to get a little rhythm here. The line's holding up, just giving Hall enough time to find his receivers and then move the ball with great success. This drive started on the 2-yard line.
So first down and 10, ball on the 49-yard line of Maple Mountain. 4 wide receivers, single back is behind Jaron Hall. Hall will go under center for, I think, almost the first time tonight. They pitch it to Casper. Casper gets into Salem Hills territory, and he gets about 4, but there's a penalty, and it's coming back against Maple Mountain for a hold.
Yeah, that is a hold, but the one thing I appreciated is the ref made the call very quickly. It seems like sometimes these referees take forever to make the call, but Maple Mountain with another, we'll call it a dumb penalty, and moves the ball back 10 yards.
And especially when you're driving, building that momentum, that's a drive staller right there.
Yeah, they've had a hard time getting 10 yards, but when you put yourself in a big hole on first down, it just makes it that much tougher, and you're limited on your play calling.
1st and 19, ball goes back to the 40-yard line. Cole Casper goes in motion. They're going to fake the screen. They throw it back to the other side and immediately hit and dropped. Looked like it was Jake Dixon on the reception, and he was immediately hit.
Yeah, he got hit hard there by, can't see the number, but the safety came up from his position and just drilled the receiver that time on that screen.
Cooper Smith up from his safety slot to make the tackle, and now it makes it 2nd and 19. 7:44 to go, 4th quarter. 5 wide receivers for Maple Mountain. Hall takes the snap. He's going to throw. Steps up, has some time, going to go deep. He's got Cannon Minor out there, and it's incomplete. And that's going to be 3rd and 19 coming up for Maple Mountain. Not the position you want to be in as we move close to about 7:33 to go in the 4th quarter.
And from a strategy point of view, you're probably not going to get too many more opportunities tonight. I would maybe try and just pick up 10, 12 yards, get a big chunk of it, and maybe possibly go for it on 4th if you're able to do that.
3rd down, 19 to go. Salem Hills dropping, it looks like. Now the corner will move up a little bit. They're dropping their secondary. Hall rolls out after he takes the snap. Gonna throw, got his man down there. It's Cannon Minor at the 45. He's gonna pick up a good chunk of that and set him up in about a 4th and 4.
Yeah, and Salem's dropping back into cover 4 with 4 guys dropping deep, and that's leaving some of those mid-range passes open, and Maple Mountain was able to complete one there and bring up a more manageable 4th and 4.
7:05 to go, 4th quarter. A big 4th down coming here for the Golden Eagles. They need the 41 to keep this possession going. 5 wide receivers coming here for Maple Mountain. Jaron Hall from shotgun. Ready to go. Snap comes. Hall steps back with time. Being pressured, throws. That one's caught. And they're going to say it's complete to the 40-yard line. Jake Dixon makes an incredible catch, and that's a 1st down for Maple Mountain.
Jake needed 4 yards. He went 5. Was able to make the catch, and they're able to move the chains. Great completion there by Hall. He threw it in the only spot he could, and he was throwing it with his feet not set, which is a very difficult throw to make.
Maple Mountain driving the length of the field right now. And 6:40 to go, 4th quarter.
And they've taken a lot of time off the clock on this drive.
Four receivers. Cole Casper, the lone back. In the backfield, Jake Dixon to the bottom of your screen. Hall to throw, screen pass, gets it out there. That's Connor Ellis, and he's gonna come close, but there's some laundry on the play. And from where it came in, kind of looks like maybe a hold against Maple Mountain.
Yeah, and it looks like a wide receiver possibly held that time, and that would be the 2nd time that they've had one down the field. And you know, they're going to, if they make it all the way, they're going to drive 98 yards, but in reality, they're going to be well over 120 yards on this drive where they've had multiple plays called back.
And I mean, Chris, you start to, a great drive, length of field. That clock is ticking. We're almost at the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. You don't know how many more times you're going to have possession of that football. Right,
and then that last penalty negated close to another 1st down as well. Instead, you're back clear to midfield instead of being at the 30.
1st down and 20. Hall set from shotgun. He's got some time, looking for somebody. Now being pressured, he's going to be sacked back at the 40-yard line. And it was number 44, Hayden Albrecht, getting there, and now you're in a 2nd and 30.
Yeah, then that is the 2nd time Albright has gotten to Hall. Hall, if nothing's available, needs to look to get rid of the ball earlier on that play.
Even in that situation, take off and run and get something there on that play. But now a loss of 10 puts you at about a 2nd and 30. 5 wide receivers. Cole Casper in the slot. He'll go in motion now. Hall going to take it on the keeper, and he's going to be hit from about the 40-yard line. So maybe he gets the line of scrimmage, but he could have lost about a half a yard. And now, Chris, you're in a 3rd and 31.
Yeah, once again, though, you don't need to pick it all up here. If you can get 15, 20 yards, you'll most likely go for it here. If you're unable to get anything, you still have, I believe, all 3 of your timeouts. We'll have to punt the ball away and hope your defense can get an early stop.
5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. 5 wide receivers. Hall by himself in the backfield. Pressure coming from Salem Hills. Hall steps up in the pocket. He's looking downfield. He's going to run. He's got the 50. He's got about the 40-yard line of Salem Hills, so he's going to pick up close to about 20 and now put you in about a 4th and 10.
It looks like they'll punt here and try and pin Salem back, possibly. We'll have to see if they bring the punt team on.
So Hall did make it more manageable, I guess, than expected in that 3rd and 30. Made a great play, showing some leadership ability there late in the game to make a play.
Right, and he's just a junior. He's still learning when you need to run and when you need to throw, but the Skyhawks will take a timeout here.
So kind of an interesting surprise move. Salem Hills uses their first time out there, but a big defensive play coming for them. What's got to be their idea here of what's got to be coming?
Well, if you're Salem, you probably want to drop a few guys back in maybe more of a prevent defense, and then also drop your linebackers and see if you can't get pressure with 3 or 4 guys, because anytime they blitz, the middle of the field has been open, those mid-range passes, and if Maple Mountain can complete one here and possibly get to the marker, that would
now for Maple Mountain here, you've had, we've mentioned it on this drive, they've had a defense that's dropped back, played a lot of cover 4. You need 12. You ought to think Salem Hills is going to drop into the cover 4 again.
Right, so if you can get something down the middle, but the risk is those safeties and cornerbacks come up and make a tackle.
Not a ton of options here in a 4th and 12, but the big run by Jaron Hall sets you up in a lot better situation.
Yeah, and if you're Salem, you got to get a stop here, get a few first downs, and you can pretty much take control of the ball game as there's only 4:39 to go here.
Maple Mountain does have all 3 of their timeouts. 4th down and about 11. Hall takes the snap, comes back, pressure now. He's back and he's going to go down back at his own 40. The whole run that he just had gets neglected on a sack, and now Salem Hills takes over at the Maple Mountain 40-yard line, and a chance with 4:33 to go. They can put this one away with a couple of first downs.
Well, that was a great job on Salem Hills defense making an adjustment. They rolled Hall out, and Salem anticipated that and blitzed Albright and Guston that way, and they were able to stop that play dead in its tracks before it ever got started. We'll see if Maple Mountain's defense can hold up one more time.
Maple Mountain's defense has made quite a few stops tonight. We'll see here if they have one more left in them. Porter Guston from the pistol gives it on first down, running ahead and getting about 4, still on his feet. He's going to end up getting about 6 was Isaac Parrish, and sets up about a 3 or 4.
Yeah, Parrish that time looked like he was dead in his tracks, but then he continued to fight on, and Maple Mountain made a couple of big hits, but they failed to wrap up. Great job by Parrish capitalizing on that.
Now it should be said, even if Salem Hills scores here and gets the extra point, it's still a one possession game. But Maple Mountain would have to score and get a 2-point conversion.
And with limited time.
4 wide receivers, Guston in the pistol. Takes the snap, he's gonna keep it. He's gonna get the first down and more down inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line, and that's first down Salem Hills.
Yeah, Guston came with a head of steam that time. Cole Casper was able to grab him by the ankles and make a tackle there. He might be still running.
So 1st and 10, Salem Hills using the clock, 3:34 to go in the 4th quarter. You have to wonder when Maple Mountain, Chris, will start using timeouts.
You got to go sooner rather than later, I would think, at this point in the ball game.
4 wide receivers for Salem Hills. Guston from shotgun. Single back appears to be Parrish to his left. Gustin gonna throw, screen pass into the slot, makes one man miss, gets about 4 or 5, and now that sets up about a 2nd and 5 for Salem Hills.
Yeah, great job by Maple Mountain's defense making sure that play didn't go big as the host of defenders tackle him there, but they've got to contain Salem here early on a play, maybe possibly get some pressure on Gustin if they continue to pass.
2nd down and 8. Well, it can't be 2nd and 8.
Second and 5.
Yeah, 2nd and 5. 2:38 to go. Clock is running. Maple Mountain hasn't used a timeout yet. 4 wide receiver set. Gustin from shotgun. He's going to keep it. Go right up the middle. Run into a middle of the Maple Mountain defenders. Looks like he ran over one and then fell to the grass. Picked up about 4 more.
Yeah, but Gustin's an animal out there, but I'm shocked that Maple Mountain's been able to stop him as well as they have, as we got a timeout here. First one by Maple Mountain, but they've been able to contain Gustin, tackling him well, staying low, making sure they don't tackle him high and go for a ride.
There's actually a Salem Hills timeout.
That's kind of surprising with the clock running in their favor. If you were to call a timeout, you might want to tell the guys, hey, hold off. Let's wait till we almost have a delay of game penalty and not take a timeout that early where the clock is your friend at this point in the ball game.
So 3rd and 2, likely in 2-down territory again. We've seen the Maple Mountain defense come up with a big stop, and now that defense needs to find a way to come up with one more. Chris, what's worked tonight? What's going through your mind as they prepare for a 3rd and 2?
Well, they've been able to stuff the run up the middle. They struggled earlier on doing that, but here in this 3rd and 4th quarter, when they've been backed up, they've been able to stop the run. I would look to stop the run first here and sell out. And if Salem throws it on you, that's just a risk you've got to take.
2:19, all 3 your timeouts if you're Maple Mountain. So even if a first down here, you can still stop the clock, but you got to get to a point here that you're going to have to start using your timeouts here if you're Brad Burtonshaw and Maple Mountain.
They got blessed with one there as Salem used a timeout.
So 3rd down and 2. Porter Gustin's going to be in the pistol formation. 4 wide receivers. Needing the 18-yard line to move the chains. 1 deep back. Man goes in motion. They're going to give it to the running back right up the middle. Gets the first down. Still on his feet inside the 10. He's down to about the 8-yard line. Jackson Bowden on the carry once again. He's been their big power runner tonight for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, and I'm surprised you didn't see Maple Mountain take a timeout here as it's 1st and goal now. But great run by Bowden, busting up the middle and getting as many yards as he can. If you're Salem here, you haven't been able to punch it in. Maybe you try throwing it in this time. Maple Mountain's defense has gotten very stout inside the 10-yard line.
2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 7-6, Salem Hills with the football on the 9-yard line. 1st and goal. 4 wide receivers. Gustin from the shotgun. He'll keep it right up the middle, and he's going to walk in for the.
Looks like
and he's in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the night.
It looked like the play might have been blown dead if Maple Mountain defenders weren't even moving. It seems like they thought the play was dead or something as they all kind of stopped and Gustin just continued to run in the end zone. Or maybe they decided to let him in to save as much clock as possible and try and tie this thing up and take it to overtime. I'm not sure what happened on that play, but their guys were standing around. So that is the 2nd touchdown run for Porter Gustin tonight.
And so now it's a 13-6 game. Extra point coming. You got to be careful, see if they might go for 2. They will not. They'll bring everybody in and go for the extra point. 13-6. This would make it an 8-point game if the extra point goes through. Snap is down. The extra point is up and good. And with 1:44 to go in the 4th quarter, the Salem Hills Skyhawks are leading this one 14-6 over Maple Mountain. Maple Mountain with probably one last chance here with 1:44 to go. They got to get in the end zone, and now they have to get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, they've got to do both those things. But this has been quite the battle tonight as both teams have played hard. I was expecting an offensive shootout, but instead we came to a defensive brawl. As I can barely hear you now as we're all jumping here at Salem Hills High School.
And so right now, maybe the biggest drive of a lot of these Maple Mountain athletes, maybe the biggest drive of their high school football careers coming up here.
Yeah, for some of them, they have, they only start 1 year. This is a pretty big game for region play, seeding. If Salem wins, they clinch the 2nd spot, and Maple Mountain's clawing for that 4th.
And the kick comes short. Maffey's gonna come up and finally pick it up, and he is gonna just stand there, and I don't know who actually, they're gonna give him, Maple Mountain got the return out to about the 14-yard line at the end of the day. That's what matters when they start. 1st and 10 from the 14.
Yeah, I don't know if there's fatigue playing a factor here for Maple Mountain, but it seems like the last couple of plays, they've just been kind of standing around where guys aren't really hustling to the ball. That's going to have to change in a hurry if they have any chance of pulling out the comeback here to send this thing into overtime.
1st down and 10, ball on the 14-yard line. Maple Mountain needs the end zone. They have all 3 timeouts. Hall set from the shotgun. 5 wide receivers. With time, he's going to throw. That one's complete. And getting about 2 or 3. And that's going to be actually about 4 on the completion. Brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, so Maple Mountain's going to have to go to hurry up the offense here as the clock's running down under 1:20. They look pretty unorganized for running the hurry up here. And they need to get out of bounds.
Shotgun set, Hall ready to go. Throws a screen pass, that one's complete and getting out of bounds, but only picking up there of about 1 yard or 2. And so now it sets up about a 3rd and about 4 coming up.
Yeah, Maple Mountain's looked pretty disorganized the last few plays. It's kind of, they've played well, looked organized early on, but it's almost like they just don't know how to handle the stress of the situation.
So 3rd down. 1:08 to go in the 4th quarter. 2 plays to get 4 yards at this point. Spreading the field, 4 wide receivers, single back. And they're going to do a reverse. They're going to throw it. Jake Dixon looking for Maffey. He's got him complete at the 45-yard line. Maple Mountain's in business with 1 minute to go.
And Jake Dixon took a shot as he threw that, but great play call. They need a little trickery to get the ball moving here. We'll have to see if they can capitalize on that big play.
45, and right now the chains are in motion, and Maple Mountains looks like they're still looking for the play call. 1 minute to go. The clock should start running, and it is now running under 1 minute.
They got all 3 timeouts here.
5 wide receivers. Hall from shotgun. Gonna step back, take some time, looking downfield, in and out of the hands and almost intercepted. Jake Maffey had his hands on that one, and it almost went to the hands of a couple of Skyhawks defensive backs.
And Hall took a shot that time. He's slow to get up, and then he looks like he'll have to come out as this training staff runs on. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. He had some zest on that last ball.
47.8 to go in the 4th quarter. Jake Dixon coming into this one. Jaron Hall will go and will head over to the sidelines.
Looks like they'll waste some time out here.
So the first time out, probably a smart move there to get organized and get ready to go. 47 seconds, you got to find the end zone.
Yeah, and they've got to decide who's playing quarterback here. Hall got up slow on that last play, was favoring his shoulder there that time. So if he can't throw the ball downfield, you're going to have to go to Dixon here, who played in the 1st quarter last week and then against Wasatch, and he just does not have the arm strength of Hall. So if you're Maple Mountain, you're hoping Hall can come back in here. Things will get interesting. Not that Dixon can't throw. We did see that reverse pass.
47.8 seconds. Maple Mountain, a loss here could set it up into a tiebreaker with Spanish Fork, and that could potentially mean that Spanish Fork could jump Maple Mountain for that 4th and final playoff spot.
Right.
Potentially, if everything goes well, not well, but if everything fell in the right place.
And that will mean Maple Mountain has to play and beat Springville next week.
2nd and 10, Hall back to throw. He's looking to the flat, got his man, that's Maffey. He's tackled in bounds with 42 seconds and the clock is running.
They've got to call a timeout here. The clock's running and
they
they're not
still
doing
haven't
anything.
used it with 32 seconds to go.
They still have to. I don't know what the coaching staff's thinking here.
And right now, now the clock does stop with 27.4.
Something must have been said between those two guys as the refs stop the clock and they're talking to one of the linemen here. This is pretty interesting.
So 27.4.
We got
unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's a sideline penalty there that time. That's the second one. So that's
going to move the ball up, it looks like 5 yards.
Oh, if you're Salem, you almost just need to tell everybody to go sit back on the bench and relax a little bit.
And so now it's going to be 3rd and about 5. 27 seconds. Jaron Hall walking over to the sidelines. And now he's going to head back. It looks like they're
discussing on what happens on the second one here.
And so right now,
looks like they are going to move it an additional few yards as Salem calls a timeout and they want to discuss the sideline warning, which is a blessing for Maple Mountain as the clock will stop instead of starting when they put it on ready for play.
Joel Higginson wanting an explanation. And right now, if you're Maple Mountain, 27.4, you're on about your 40-yard line. You do have right now the 2 timeouts, so you don't necessarily feel the need to have to go deep here. You have pretty much a good portion of the playbook open to you right now.
Well, I'd go deep. You got only 27 seconds left. You've got to get yards, and you've got to get yards in chunks. By deep, I mean 10 yards or longer if possible. They do have some big play ability type guys, and if you're Salem, you've been playing well in that cover 4 nickel or dime defense, so you will probably see a lot more of that from them as well.
So it looks like the ball is going to be put on the 39-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 4. Haven't seen anything reset yet. So 3rd and about 4. Salem Hills dropping their two safeties back deep. They're playing about 10, maybe 12 yards off the ball. Hall back to throw with time, looking towards the sidelines. Got Jake Maffey, and that's going to be 1st down, but more importantly, he gets out of bounds.
Right. It looked like he could have gotten a couple more yards before he stepped out of bounds, but he was more worried about getting out of bounds and conserving clock, which you can't blame him in this situation. Salem, though, that pass is going to probably be open on the sideline for 5-10 yards. Maybe Maple Mountain will take advantage of it again.
1st down and 10. Ball on the 35. Empty backfield. Jaron Hall from shotgun. Ready to go, 5 wide. They're going to throw a screen pass out to Cannon Minor at the 35 to the 30. He's going to get out of bounds. It looks like the clock is going to continue to run.
And they need to call a timeout, and they do with 24.3 seconds.
And they have 1 left to go as he gets about a lot of time off, 3 seconds off the clock to get about 3 yards.
Yeah,
Right at the 32-yard line.
And then there's just no sense of urgency for Maple Mountain. There's only 24 seconds, and they've got to go 35, 36 yards to pick up the touchdown, and then you still need to convert on the 2-point conversion just to send this thing into overtime.
Well, and you don't want to put yourself in a position where there's 10 seconds left. Now we have to throw it 30 yards down the field. You want to try to, bite chunks off here and there. And right now it just doesn't look like they're going down the field trying to. I don't know. I mean, maybe the screenplay looks to be the smart idea, but it looks like to me you got to go 10 yards down the field, 12. If the shot opens up deep, you have to take it, I would think.
Yeah, and Maple Mountain does not have the tall wide receiver. They don't have a 6'3", 6'4" guy that can go up and get a jump ball in a Hail Mary situation. So that becomes a little dicey.
Second down and 7. Ball sits on the 32-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Single back is Cole Casper. Hall from shotgun. He's going to step back to throw with time. Has some time to do something. Rolls out to the right. He's going to look down the field and throws it away. And that will make it 3rd down and 7 with 16.2 to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Salem once again locks down their coverage and nobody's open downfield. They've been able to, when they do drop 7 guys back, they've been able to keep the pressure downfield to where Hall doesn't have anybody to throw to.
16.2. Maple Mountain with 1 timeout remaining. So it looks like they just used one here to talk this over. And I mean, I think one of the hard things, Chris, is if you're going to go deep here, Salem Hills puts 6'4" defensive back Cooper Smith just playing out there on his island.
Yeah, you just got to tell him to bat it down, and that ball is batted down and nearly intercepted, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Almost picked off by Big Tim Fleming.
So 4th down and 7. Ball game is going to be on the line here for Maple Mountain. They need 7 yards. It needs to get to about the 24 to keep this game going. They only have 13 seconds as well.
Yeah, you got to get to probably the 20, pick this up in 2 plays. You got to get the 1st down here, obviously. That's what they should be shooting for.
Ball game on the line, 4th and 7. Jaron Hall from shotgun, 5 wide receivers. Hall steps back to throw. He's going to take a shot deep. One-on-one coverage in the end zone, and it's batted away incomplete. No flags, and Salem Hills takes over with 7.7 to go. 1 timeout for Maple Mountain, but it looks like at this point it will be down to taking a knee for Salem Hills and prepare and get the number 2 seed out of Region 8.
Yeah, so Salem Hills will go to 8-1 with Spanish Fork left on the schedule, and odds are they'll beat them. And it's been the best season ever for Salem Hills. They played well tonight, played well all season, and they've wrapped up the 2nd seed and will get a home game, the first round of the playoffs.
They'll get the home game with what appears to be right now Bountiful or Highland, as Porter Gustin is under center, ready to take a knee. He'll turn and take a knee, and no timeout being used here by Maple Mountain, and this one will come to an end. Your final score from Salem Hills High School: Salem Hills 14, Maple Mountain 6. Chris, one of those games where Maple Mountain had some opportunities, but eventually Salem Hills finally took advantage. So with the win tonight, Salem Hills improves to 4-1 overall in Region A play. They are now 8-1 overall in the season. And Chris, they now get the home spot in the playoffs, the number 2 seed from Region 8, and now set them up to get Bountiful or Highland, whoever finishes number 3 in that region.
And Maple Mountain will need to win next week, most likely, to get that 4th or 3rd spot in the playoffs, as they're scratching for their playoff lives.
Maple Mountain, with the loss tonight, moves to 2-3. They're 3-6 overall. And most importantly, Chris, like you said, next week's home game becomes a must-win if they want to make the playoffs. And the unfortunate truth comes, if you're Maple Mountain, potentially if you lose next week as well, you could find yourself completely out of the playoffs.
That is very true. So at the conclusion of every game, we have to announce the Taco Time player of the game. There were quite a few contributors. Jaron Hall had a pretty game, all things considered, and Cannon Minor had the long touchdown, but I think we should give it to somebody on the defense, Ryan.
I would say Jordan Larson, with the way he anchored that defense tonight, and then came up and made the big hit later on in that ball game. Just a great performance from really the entire defense, but Jordan Larson played a great game anchoring that defensive spot.
So thanks for watching high school football on the Spanish Fork Community Network. Our final score is Salem Hills 14, Maple Mountain 6. I'm Chris Hirsch for Ryan.
I'm Ryan Pickens signing off for our entire crew here at Spanish Fork Community Network. Have a great week. Next week, Maple Mountain and Springville at 7 o'clock.